Welcome to the webinar. You have entered as an attendee in listen-only mode.
Execution output. In the compilation, preprocessor is available. Compiler, assembler, loader, link editor. Of course, this part is not necessary now, but to complete the diagram, I give in the remaining part here. Compiler internally, we have nearly, inside the compiler, we have nearly 6 pages. What are the various pages here? Lexical analysis, syntax analysis, semantic analysis, intermediate code generator, code optimization, code generation. These many things are existed clearly. Read this one. In Java, the complete predefined library was provided in the form of classes and interfaces in the packages. What are the various examples here we are getting there? Java.io, Java.util, Java.sql, and so on. If you want to use a predefined library in the Java applications, then we have to import the packages. To import any package in Java application, we have to use import statement. What are the various import statements here we are having there? Import java.io.star, import java.util.star, import java.sql.star. If we compile a Java file that contains import statements, then the compiler will perform the following actions. Compiler will recognize all the import statements and the compiler will take the provided package names from the import statements. The compiler will search for the provided packages in Java software. If the provided packages do not exist in the Java software, then the compiler will raise an error like package XXX does not exist. If the provided packages exist in Java software, then the compiler will not raise any error, and at the same time the compiler will not load any package content to the memory. When we execute Java applications by using JVM, when JVM encounters any predefined class or predefined interface in the Java applications, then the JVM will load the required classes and interfaces from the packages to the memory. Loading a predefined library to the memory at runtime of the application is called as what their dynamic loading. Alright, so preprocessor does not require any Java. Why? Because Java doesn't have hash include statements and header files. Alternatively, Java has what their import statements and package statements. Got it or not? Alright, so now this is the total diagram here what we are having. This is Java. Previously we prepared a diagram. This is with respect to what? C programming language. Now this is a diagram for what? Java programming language. So get Java compilation dot class execution output. In Java, what is not available? Preprocessor is not available. Okay, compiler, assembler, loader, link editor. In the compiler again, same steps are available clearly. Leave this one. What are the differences between hash include statement and import statement? Hash include statements exist in C and C++, whereas import statements exist in what? Java. Hash include statements are able to include the predefined library available in the form of header files. Import statements is able to include the predefined library available in the form of classes and interfaces in the packages now. Hash include statements are evaluated by the preprocessor. Import statements are evaluated by the compiler and JVM. Hash include statements supports static loading, whereas import statements are supporting dynamic loading. In C and C++ applications, by using single hash include statement, we are able to include only one header file. If you want to include more than one header file, then we have to use multiple hash include statements. Hash include stdio.h, hash include conio.h, hash include math.h. Like this here we are able to provide. In Java applications, by using a single import statement, we are able to include more than one class or more than one interface from the same package. Import java.io.star semicolon that we are able to prepare clearly. Right, so this is the total awareness here we can understand now. After that, yesterday we started with another difference between Java and other programming languages. What is that another difference here? C and C++ are platform dependent programming languages, but Java is a platform independent programming language. C and C++ are what they're platform dependent programming languages, but Java is a platform independent programming language. If any programming language allows its applications to perform the compilation and execution on the same operating system, compilation and execution must be on the same operating system, then that programming language is called as what there? That programming language is called platform dependent programming language. Now tell me, can you tell me what exactly the platform dependent programming language actually? What exactly the platform dependent programming language? Here we have the definition. If any programming language allows its applications to perform the compilation and execution on the same operating system, then that programming language is called a platform dependent programming language. I said, all of you are getting it or not? Examples for this platform dependent programming languages are what? C and C++. Okay. This definition I will talk with you later on, but first of all, put concentration on platform dependent programming languages here. See, all of you understand this point clearly, what I'm telling to you. In C and C++, or else maybe, C and C++ programming languages are platform dependent programming languages. Why? What is the reason for it? That we have to understand. Listen carefully. I want to show in the form of a diagram. For example, here we are having .c. Okay, the program here I have taken what is that .c, Java C file. Inside this C file, we are able to write some code, some content here we have written source code. We can call it as what there? Source code. Next one is, I need to perform compilation. So here we have to perform compilation. Compilation. Inside the compilation, here we are having what we are having there, .exe file. After the compilation, what we are having there, .exe file. .exe file in the sense like what you are thinking there. It's purely zeros and ones, low level code. Okay. This is .exe file. Here we are getting. Whenever we are getting .exe file, then here we have to go with the execution. There we have to understand what execution. Okay. After the execution, there we have to provide output. Here we are able to get what their output. Now tell me, who is performing this execution actually? C engine is performing execution. Understand it here. Who is performing execution here? No, C engine is performing execution. Clear? Fine. First of all, as per the definition, compilation here we have to perform. To perform compilation, definitely we need operating system. One operating system is required to perform compilation. Am I right or not? Similarly, execution here we have to perform. To perform this execution, again, an operating system here we require. Okay, fine. As per the definition, first of all, Platform dependent programming languages are the programming languages which are able to allow their applications to perform compilation and execution both on the same operating system. In a platform dependent programming languages, both compilation and execution must be performed on the same operating system. Compilation is going on in what their Windows, for example. Compilation is going on what their Windows. Now execution also we have to perform on what their Windows. If we provide or if it is mandatory, if it is required to provide the same operating system for both compilation and execution, then that programming language is called a platform dependent programming language. Are you forgetting it or not? For a moment, for our discussion point of I don't want to use Windows operating system for execution. I have used Windows operating system for compilation, but for execution, I don't want to use Windows operating system. There, I need to use like what their Linux operating system for a moment. For a moment, I'm using what their Linux operating system. Understand it? What is going to be happen? Let's move on to the point here. C program I have written. I'm trying to compile my C program on which operating system? Windows operating system. My local operating system is what there? Windows operating system. Now we got .exe file. What files here we are getting there? .exe files here we are getting. Understand it clearly. What is the nature of this .exe file? What is the nature of the .exe file? If we observe this point clearly, what is the nature of .exe file? No. .exe file contains directly executable code. .exe file contains directly executable code. Observe carefully. .exe file contains directly executable code, and it is having the local operating system representations, and it is having the local operating system representations. That is what representations here? Windows representations. That is what representations there? Windows representations. That's it. Come again. What's the point I said to you about this .exe file? .exe file contains directly executable code, and it is having the local operating system representations. That is what their Windows representations. Remember one point. From one operating system to another operating system, internal data representation is varied. From one operating system to another operating system, the internal data representations are varied. Conventions are varied. Example I'm telling that. In one operating system, integer data may take 2 bytes of memory. In another operating system, integer data may take 4 bytes of memory. In some other operating system, integer data may take 8 bytes of memory. Variations are available. In one operating system, forward slashes are supported. In some other operating system, backward slashes are supported. Understand it or not? So definitely from one operating system to another operating system, internal data representations are varied. Please remember this point clearly. Now the point is what? .exe file contains directly executable code, and it is having the local operating system representations. That is what their Windows representations. Good. But now tell me, what is the status of the C engine? C engine is going to perform execution. That C engine is on what operating system actually? That C engine is on what operating system? No. That C engine is available in a Linux operating system or not? C engine is available on what there? Linux operating system. Understand it clearly. Now, in this scenario here, what we are going to understand it, what we are able to say, no? If you observe this point here, that C engine, what is able to do, no? Here, C engine is able to understand, C engine is able to execute, instead of saying this understand, is able to execute like Linux representations, is able to execute only Linux representations. Why? Because that C engine is installed on the top of what their Linux operating system. Okay, fine. Now observe carefully. .exe file is having what representations? Come on. .exe file contains. .exe file has what representations? Windows representations. Am I right or not? .exe file has Windows representations. C engine is able to execute only what representations? No, Linux representations. Observe carefully. Here, C engine required Linux representations. That means .exe file with Linux representations. But here we provided .exe file with which representations? No, Windows representations. We are getting some mismatch or not? There definitely we are getting what there? Some mismatch here now. Because of this mismatch, our program will not be executed. C engine is expecting what representations? No, directly Linux representations, as it was installed on the top of the Linux operating system. But we provided .exe file with which representations? No, Windows representations. So there definitely we are getting some mismatch. Due to this mismatch, because of this mismatch, our program is not going to be executed. So if you want to make execute your program in this particular situation, if you want to execute this program in this particular situation, then what we have to do here, what exactly the change here we have to do? No, we don't have any alternative, any other alternative. Only one alternative is available. That alternative is like what there, in place of this Linux, instead of using this Linux, we must use what operating system there? Now tell me. The same operating system what we have used for compilation. The same operating system what we have used for what their compilation. Yes, sir. All of you are getting my point or not? Come again. What is the point I said to you? Previously, we have taken what operating system? Linux operating system for execution. C engine is installed on the top of what their Linux operating system. C engine can understand only which representations? No, Linux representations. But in our program, what we are providing there, we compiled C program on what? Windows operating system. So we are getting .exe file. What is the representations which are available in .exe file? Windows representations are available. So we are giving Windows represented .exe file to the C engine, which is on top of what? Linux operating system. So it required Linux representations, but we are providing what there? Windows representations, where some communication gap is coming, some mismatch. The code mismatch is coming there clearly. So here we are unable to execute our program. In this particular scenario, to execute our program, if you want to execute our program in this particular case, then what we have to do now in this case here, there we have to go for only one change. What change here we have to do there? We don't have any alternative, any other alternative. Simply, we have to change the operating system at runtime. We have to remove Linux at runtime. In place of it, we have to use Windows, the same Windows, what we have used for compilation. What operating system we have used for compilation, the same operating system we have to use for what their execution. If it is the case, now tell me what change here we have to provide there. Now C engine is able to execute only what now? C engine is able to execute only what now? Previously Linux. Now we changed our operating system or not? Now it is able to understand what operating system here no? We can write like what there? Windows operating system or not? C engine is able to execute only Windows operating system or not? Now understand this clearly. Now we are getting compatibility. Now in this case we are getting compatibility. Observe carefully. We compiled our program on what operating system? Windows operating system. Am I right or not? We compiled our program on what? Windows operating system. We are getting .exe file with which representations? No, Windows representations. Execution is going on what operating system? Windows operating system. Execution is going on what? Windows operating system. So C engine required which representations? No, Windows representations. Now match is identified or not? That match is identified or not? Code is matched or not? Now program will be executed. In this case, the program is going to be executed. Is clear? All right, sir. Because of this reason, now tell me here what is going to be happen here in this particular situation. No, in this particular representation, what we identified there, execution is totally dependent on the operating system what we have used for compilation. Am I right or not? Means that for compilation and for execution, we must provide the same operating system or not. For compilation of the program and for execution of the program, we must provide the same operating system or not. Because of this reason, C and C++ are what? Platform dependent programming languages. Because of this reason, C and C++ are what? Their platform dependent programming languages. Right, sir. Now let me copy this diagram here. I want to include this diagram here. Now try to understand it now. But here I want to write this theory. That means 1 or 2 points I want to write about it. Try to understand it clearly. Everybody understand this clearly. All right, sir. If we compile C and C++ applications on the Windows operating system, then the compiler will generate a .exe file. Then the compiler will generate a .exe file with the same Windows operating system representations. If we compile C and C++ applications on the Windows operating system, then the compiler will generate a .exe file with the same Windows operating system representations. Understand it clearly? All right, sir. With the same Windows operating system representations. Fine. In this context, to execute the Windows represented.exe file, we must use the same operating system. Right, sir. To execute the Windows represented.exe file, we must use the same operating system which we used for compilation. To execute the Windows represented.exe file, we must use the same operating system which we have used for the compilation. What is that? That is what the Windows operating system. Understand it clearly? The conclusion kind of point here I'm telling there. In the above context, program execution is dependent on the operating system. Program execution is dependent on the operating system which we have used for the compilation, So C and C++ are what their platform dependent programming languages. C and C++ are what their platform dependent programming languages. Is that clear? All of you are getting clarity on this point now? How and why C and C++ are platform dependent programming languages? All of you are getting clarity on this point or not? No response, guys. Can I move forward? Are you getting this point now? Fine. All right, sir. What is our next point here? Even the diagrammatic view also are given there. What is our next point here? What about our next content here? Next point is like what there? This one. Platform independent programming language. And how Java is a platform independent programming language. That we have to understand clearly. How how Java is a platform independent programming language. One point I'm telling to you now. Up to now, I discussed something about C and C++, how they are platform independent. What is the reason why we are able to say these two are platform dependent programming languages? That internal, that actual reason we understood up to now. That is up to okay. That is a concept wise we understood that. But our required point is what? Our needed point is what? How Java is a platform independent programming language. That we have to understand more. How Java is a platform independent programming language and how Java programming language is available as a platform independent programming language. This point is our required point. So we have to put more concentration on this particular point. Yes, sir. All of you okay or not? Sir, people are sleeping, inside the class. Getting sleeping? Important topics I'm discussing with you. How you are getting sleeping now? Don't sleep. Don't sleep inside the class now. Important concepts here we have to understand. Got it? What I'm telling you now. Okay? All right, sir. Of course, outside environment is very good. That we know already. Outside environment is very good. That we know. The cold environment might be some kind of atmosphere is very good. At the same time, might be you completed lunch, right? After that, you are coming to the class. So, okay, everything is fine. That entire environment is ready to get sleep only. But the point is what? Java, we are understanding. The Java concepts are okay. I'm giving one very good option to you. Up to this C and C++, even you sleep inside the class, that doesn't matter. But now onwards, we have to understand the point. Now we are going to talk about what? Java related points. You have to understand the point clearly. Got it? What I'm telling you now. Okay. Now let's move on to the point here. What is platform independent programming language first? What you are understanding about the platform independent programming language? If any programming language allows its applications to perform compilation is on one operating system and execution is on the another operating system, then that programming language is called a platform independent programming language. Example for the platform independent programming language is what? Java. Not only Java, so many programming languages are available, and our Python also. Python is also like what their platform independent programming language. Yes, sir. All of you are getting it or not? Java, Python, even C Sharp.net. C Sharp.net. All these are like what their platform independent programming language. But our required point is what? Java. Now we have to understand why Java is a platform independent programming language. Similarly, we can analyze Python and C Sharp.net also. Similarly, we can analyze it, but I'm not going to talk about these two. I'm going to talk about only like what their Java programming language. How Java is a platform independent programming language. Is it all of you ready for it now? Shall we understand the point clearly? All right, move on to the content clearly. What I'm telling you now. All right, observe carefully first of all. I'm going to use another diagram. I'm going to prepare it, try to put more concentration. For example, I'm going to take a Java program kit. .java. Observe carefully. What program kit? .java file. .java file. Okay. For this .java, I need to perform compilation. First of all, I want to prepare this diagram as per the definition. Java file here we are getting. Next one is what their compilation. Whenever we are performing compilation, now here we are able to get what? Listen carefully. Here we are able to get what? class files here we are getting. Yes, sir. What files? No. Dot class. In the case of C and C++, dot exe file. In the case of Java, dot class files. Observe carefully. Inside the dot class files, what you are getting there? Inside the dot class file, what you are getting? Understand it clearly. Right, sir? Inside the dot class file, we are able to have some content. What content I will discuss with you later on. But first of all, understand it, we are getting dot class file. Whenever we are getting this dot class file here, then I need to go for execution. To perform this execution, what I am going to say there, execution here we have to perform here. This is like what there, execution. Okay. This is execution. After this execution, here we are able to get some output. Here we are able to provide like what their output. Now here we are getting like what their operating system here we are getting. Here also for compilation here we are using what their operating system. And for execution here we are using what their another operating system. Okay, names of these operating systems here I will provide to you. But like this, how many executions here I am going to perform there? As I said to you, the definition of the platform independent programming language. We can compile our program in one operating system. We can execute in what there another operating system. That another operating system may be anything which is different from what their compilation operating system. Of course, the same compilation operating system also. All right. Let me copy this. I want to go with multiple options, multiple executions here I'm going to provide. Multiple executions here I'm going to provide. And then after that, another one here I'm providing like this. Almost all. Is all of you understand it clearly? How many executions here we provided here? We can understand it, no? All right. How many executions here we can provide? Almost all. 4 times execution here we are providing there. Try to understand it clearly. What are the 4 times executions here we are providing there? For compilation, for example, I want to use what there Windows operating system. And for execution here, what I want to provide there, observe carefully. I'm going to use Linux operating system. Then I'm going to use like what there Solaris operating system. Then after the Solaris operating system, I'm going to use what there MacBook, Mac operating system. And next one is what there again, the same Windows operating system here I'm using. All of you observe carefully. Compilation here we are performing Windows. And now tell me, I'm asking one question to you. Now try to understand this point clearly. How many times we are performing compilation, sir? Overall, how many times we are performing compilation? One time we are performing compilation. But how many times we are executing our program? 4 times we are executing our program. Understand it clearly. One time we are performing compilation. 4 times we are executing our application. Am I right or not? Please all of you recognize the point here what I am telling there. Compilation is going on which operating system? Now tell me. Compilation is going on which operating system here? Windows operating system. Execution is going on which operating systems? No, multiple operating systems, different operating systems. That execution is going on. Are you getting my point or not? All right. If it is going on successfully, if it is happened successfully, then the programming language is what there? Platform independent programming language. Is that got or not? This programming language is like what there? Platform independent programming language. As I'm telling to you, in Java, it's going on successfully. In Java, it is going on successfully. Everybody, understand it clearly. In Java, it is going on successfully. Clear. Let's move on to the points here. But how it is possible in the case of Java? How it is possible to execute the same program in multiple operating systems, which was not possible in the case of C programming language, but it is possible in the case of Java. But how it is possible in the case of Java? Right. Now I'm going to give some clarity. Try to understand this point clearly. All of you have to carefully now. All right, sir. Put more concentration over this punch here. Listen carefully, all of you know. When we compile our Java program on Windows operating system, when we compile Java program on Windows operating system, automatically we are getting a dot class file. What file here we are getting there? Dot class file. What is the job of this dot class file actually? What this dot class file is having actually? What you are understanding the dot class file? Listen carefully, all of you know. Dot class files contains bytecode. Dot class files contains what codes are? Bytecode. Please all of you recognize this, what I'm telling you now. .exe file contains what? Directly executable code. But dot class files contains what there? Bytecode. Got it up? What I'm telling you now. Okay, fine. What is the nature of the bytecode? Please remember this point. Dot class file contains what code here? Bytecode. What is the nature of the bytecode here now? Observe carefully. It is not directly executable code. It is not directly executable code. It is not directly executable code. Nice, very good. But .exe file contains directly executable code, but it is not directly executable code. That's very clear. Next one is what there? It is an intermediate code. It is an intermediate code. It is not source code. At the same time, it is not executable code. It is not source code. At the same time, it is not what there? Executable code. Everybody understand my point clearly now? Okay, fine. It is an intermediate code. And what is its nature actually? And it is not having any operating system representations. And it is not having what there? Operating system representations, including Windows. Why I'm specifying on Windows now? I performed my compilation on what? Windows operating system. Even including Windows also, it is not having any operating system representations. Is it? All of you are getting my point or not? Now, understand the point clearly, what I'm telling to you. Dot class files contains bytecode. It is not directly executable code. It is an intermediate code, and it is not having any operating system representations, including Windows. Yes, clear to all of you? All of you are getting my point or not? All right, sir, leave this point clearly. This is the nature of the dot class file. In the future, I will ask one question to you. What exactly the differences between .exe file and a dot class file? This question here I am able to give clarity. What is intermediate code in the sense? The point already said to you, it is not source code, it is not native code. Native code in the sense directly executable code. It is what there? An intermediate code. Please recognize this clearly. Okay, fine. Next one is after this. Understand this point here. So this is what there? A neutral bytecode. It doesn't have any operating system representations. But I need to execute this neutral code and Linux operating system representations or not? I need to execute this neutral code and Solaris operating system or not? I need to execute this neutral code on Mac operating system or not? I need to execute this neutral code on Windows operating system or not? Please recognize the point here, what I'm telling you now. If you want to execute this neutral code on all the operating system representations, first of all, this neutral code must be in Linux representation. This neutral code must be in Solaris representations. This neutral code must be in what their Mac representations. This neutral code must be in what their Windows representations. Please all have recognize the point here, what I'm telling you now. If you want to execute this any bytecode, if you want to execute any bytecode in any of the operating system, that bytecode must have the local operating system representations. That bytecode must have Linux representations. Then only we can execute it on Linux operating system. That bytecode must have Solaris operating system representations. Then only we can execute that bytecode in Solaris operating system. That bytecode must have the MAC representations. Then only we can execute the program in what there Mac operating system. That bytecode must have Windows operating system. Then only that bytecode must be executed under Windows operating system. Yes, sir. All of you get my point or not? Observe carefully. Right, sir. Good. Can we use the same operating system in Java for compilation and execution? Yes, why not? Yeah, just wait a few minutes of time. I'll discuss with you clearly. Just wait. Let me complete this total discussion. After that, you are able to understand clear-cut information there, what I'm telling them. But at present, the status is what? Everybody understand what is the status of this one at present? No. We compiled our program in Windows operating system. We got dot class file. The nature of the dot class file is what there? It contains what code? Now tell me. It contains what code here? No, byte code. What is the nature of the byte code? It is not directly executable code. It is not directly executable code. It is what there? An intermediate code, and it is not having any operating system representations, including what there? Windows representations. But if you want to execute this bytecode on Linux operating system, that bytecode must be in what representations? Linux representations. If you want to execute the same bytecode on Mac operating system, that bytecode must have what representations? No, Mac representations. The point is what? Directly that neutral bytecode is not possible to execute in any of the operating system. Directly that neutral bytecode is not possible to execute in any of the operating system. If you want to execute this bytecode, definitely that bytecode must have the local operating system representations. Almost all same problem we encountered what we have seen in the case of C and C++ or not? Same, almost all same problem here we identified or not? Answer my point, you know. In the case of C programming language, they have not given any solution for it. In C programming language, they have not provided any solution for it. But in the case of Java, Java has provided solution. Java handled the situation in an effective manner. How Java has handled this situation in an effective manner? I'm giving clarity. Try to understand this point clearly. All of you observe carefully. What is the effective way of dealing this topic here? How Java has handled it? Java understood the situation. There is a communication. There is a mismatch is going on in between compiled version of the .ex .class file and execution process there. Execution is required the local operating system representations, but compiled .class file contains an intermediate code, not a source code, just it is a bytecode, neutral bytecode. In this particular situation, if we convert the neutral bytecode to the local operating system representations, if we convert the bytecode from neutral nature to local operating system representations, then we can solve the problem. We can execute the program in any of the operating system now. Got or not? In the case of C programming language, these converters are not available, but Java has provided converters to convert the program from neutral bytecode to the local operating system representations. Sun Microsystems has provided what their converters to convert the program from bytecode, neutral bytecode to the local operating system representations. How the converters are available, where the converters are existed actually, understand it clearly. That converters are provided exactly in this particular location. That converters are provided exactly in this particular location. Now here we require a converter. Here we require a converter. Here we required a converter. Here also we required a converter. Is it? All of you are getting it or not? All right. Now understand these converters clearly. Now this is like what there a converter. Now this is like what there a converter. This is like what there a converter. Now get this is like what I am telling to you a converter. Converters are provided directly. We can understand it clearly. Now tell me, what is the job of this particular converter, sir? This converter is able to take the bytecode from neutral representation and it will convert that neutral bytecode into Linux representations. What is the job of this converter? No, this converter is able to convert a bytecode from neutral nature to Solaris representations. This converter is able to convert the bytecode from neutral representations to MAC representations. This converter is able to convert the bytecode from neutral representations to Windows representations. Yes, sir. All of you are getting it or not? So when converters are available, automatically our program is executed in multiple operating systems or not? Automatically our program is converted to the local operating system representations. Finally, our program will be executed in multiple operating systems or not? Yes, it is possible. If it is possible, then Java is what their platform independent programming language. Yes, Java has provided this type of converters. Now Java can run under all the operating systems what we are having clearly. So we can observe carefully. We can compile Java program in one operating system, but we executed our program in multiple operating systems or not. We can compile our program in one operating system and we can execute the same program in multiple operating systems or not. So we can conclude that Java is what there a platform independent programming language. Java is a platform independent programming language now. Why? Because how it is possible there is totally because of this conversion mechanisms or not? Is because of this converter or not? Okay, but I have one more question. How these converters are provided by Sun Microsystems? No, how Java has provided these converters actually? Definitely, Sun Microsystems or Java must provide these converters. But how Sun Microsystems has provided these converters actually? If we come for this particular point, answer is very clear. Sun Microsystems has provided these converters along with execution process. Sun Microsystems has provided these converters along with what their execution process. Sun Microsystems has provided these converters along with their execution process. Everybody must understand this point clearly. All right. How Sun Microsystems has provided this conversion mechanisms and execution mechanism as a single unit, how it is possible just by providing a separated device. By providing a separate device for compilation and execution, that device provided by Sun Microsystems, that component or that internal tool provided by Sun Microsystems inside the Java is called JVM. That internal component is called as what there? JVM. Now this is one JVM. Now this is like what there? Another JVM. And this is like what there? Another JVM. And this is finally like what there? A JVM. Tell me guys, all of you now understand it clearly? The main responsibilities of the JVM are what? What are the main responsibilities of the JVM? Two responsibilities are available for JVM. What are the two responsibilities for JVM there? One is what? Conversion, and second one is what there? Execution. First one is what there? Conversion, and the second one is what there? Execution. What is the job of this converter now? Tell me. Job of the converter is converting bytecode from neutral nature to local operating system representation. Got it or not? The bytecode which is in local operating system representations is called as what their native code. Is it? Or if you get my point or not? The bytecode which is in local operating system representations is called as what their native code. Yes, sir. All of you get my point or not? Native code. Now tell me, JVM first responsibility is what there? Converting program from bytecode to native code. Am I right or not? Converting program from bytecode to native code. If we give that native code to the execution process, that execution engine will execute that native code and provide some output clearly. So conversion and execution, these are the two responsibilities of the JVM. Conversion and execution, these are the two responsibilities of what their JVM that we have to understand clearly. Yes, sir. Are you getting it or not? What are the two responsibilities of the JVM? Now tell me. Conversion and what next one here? Execution. They are the two responsibilities of the JVM in Java. Got or not? All right, sir. One more point here I'm asking you. Try to understand it clearly. Listen carefully. How many times we compiled the program? Only one time we compiled the program. That is on what operating system? Windows operating system. How many times we executed the program? 4 times we executed the program. In how many operating systems? No, 4 different operating systems get. Understand it now. But understand the magic here. For compilation we have used Windows. For execution also we have used Windows. But still we required converter. Still we required what there? JVM to execute our program on the same Windows operating system. Understand my point or not? So, but in the case of C and C++, same operating system if we provide there, directly it will be executed. But in the case of Java, even though if we provide same operating system for compilation and execution, but still we require converters internally to convert the bytecode from neutral representation to the local operating system representations. Okay, sir. Finally, I'm giving a conclusion. Java is a platform independent programming language because of JVMs only. Am I right? Java is a platform independent programming language because of what there? JVMs only. Am I right or not? Please remember one more point. I'm asking one question to try to answer for it. How many times we compiled our program? How many times we compiled our program? Only one time here we compiled our program. That's nice. But how many times we executed our program? 4 times we are executing our program. Am I right or not? Understand my question clearly. 4 times we are executing our program in the sense, how many JVMs here we have used? No? How many JVMs here we have used? Is it only one JVM or 4 JVMs? Only one type of JVM or 4 types of JVMs, or one JVM or 4 JVMs? Think and give answer. One JVM or 4 JVMs? You have to think about it. One JVM or 4 JVMs? All right. It seems it is like one JVM, but actually 4 JVMs. Not like one JVM. 4 JVMs here we are using. Why, sir? Why we are using 4 JVMs? Why not one JVM? The conversion is very same here, but why we are saying that 4 JVMs? No, if we come for this point, answer is very clear. Put more concentration on. Java is a platform independent programming language because of JVMs only. No second thought. Right conclusion. Java is a platform independent programming language because of what there? JVMs only. But JVM is a platform dependent tool. JVM is what there? Platform dependent component. What is the meaning of this platform dependent component now? First JVM is working on the top of what operating system? Linux operating system. So this is Linux based JVM only. The second time execution is going on what operating system? Solaris operating system. Here we are having JVM, that is Solaris based JVM. Third time execution is going on Mac based JVM. Fourth time execution is going on what there? Windows operating system, Windows based JVM. Understand my point here now? Java is a platform independent programming language only, but the JVM is what there? Platform dependent. Linux based JVM, Solaris based JVM, Mac based JVM, Windows based JVM. Now tell me, how many JVMs here we have used there? 4 JVMs here we have used, not a single JVM. Got it or not? Not only JVM. Remember, all of you know, not only JVM, the total Java software, Java programming language is different and Java software is different. The total Java software is a platform dependent. But the program which I have written by using Java programming language, the program which I have prepared by using Java programming language is independent of the operating systems, and anywhere we can execute our program. But the Java software is available now. Java software is a collection of Java tools. The Java tools are what? Java compiler, JVM, Java profiler, Java documentator, Java signer, and so on and so on and so on. 30 to 35 tools are available. All these Java tools are what? Platform dependent. Means that, what is the meaning of it now? Java software is what? The platform dependent. Yes, sir. I'll forget my point or not. Java is a programming language which is platform independent because of JVMs only, but JVM is platform dependent. Not only JVM, the complete Java software is a platform dependent. I can give practical proof for it. Java software is a platform dependent. That's my point here. I want to give a practical proof for it. Now try to understand it clearly. All right, sir. Now the point is what? Observe carefully. If we want to compile Java program, we require Java software. If we want to execute Java program, we require Java software. Am I right or not? So first of all, if we want to do anything with Java, first we have to download Java software. We have to install the Java software in our system. Am I right or not? Now here, from where we are going to download the Java software, all of you observe carefully. First of all, here we are going to understand it clearly. Java, say for example, 8, for example, Java 8 download, Java 8 download that I want to use. All of you observe carefully. This is my Java 8 downloadable page from Oracle actually. Right. Now observe carefully. Now these are the links which are providing Java softwares. Downloading of Java softwares, we are able to get through these links only. Got it or not? All right. Observe carefully. All these links are provided on the basis of what? Operating systems wise. This is Linux. In Linux also so many flavors are available. Linux, for each and every flavor a separate one. Next one is what there? Mac operating system. A separate link is provided. Solaris, a separate link is provided. Windows, a separate links are provided. Yes, sir. Clear or not? All of you get my point or not? Now just think a minute about it. If it is platform independent, the Java software is a platform independent. If it is, why they provided these many links for downloading Java software? If it is independent of the operating system, one link is sufficient to provide that operating system or not, to provide the Java software or not. But still, why they provided these separate links for each and every operating system is because of what? A different Java software we have to provide with respect to what their operating system. So what's the meaning of it now? Java software is what? Platform dependent or platform independent? Definitely Java software is what there? Platform independent. Java programming language or our written program, our written Java program is independent of the operating systems. But Java software is what there? Platform independent programming language. This is a proof for it. We have to download a separate Java software for each and every operating system. Got it or not? Now, again, here I'm asking one more question. Try to answer for this clearly. In this diagram, all of you observe carefully. In this diagram, now tell me guys, in this program, now totally tell me how many Java softwares here I have installed. Now tell me. First of all, before that number of Java softwares, just leave it. How many computers I have included in this entire diagram? Now tell me. How many computers are included there inside this diagram? Just analyze it. How many computers I have used for preparing this program? Don't say to me, sir, you are using only one laptop, there only prepared diagram. I'm not talking about the diagram. I'm talking inside the diagram. How many computers we have to use there to complete this architecture? For compilation, I required to take one machine or not? One computer here I have to take or not? How many times we are executing there? 4 times we are executing on the same operating system or multiple operating systems? Multiple operating system means that multiple machines I have to use or not? Possibility of using multiple computers or not? Altogether, 5 computers here I've used or not? Come on, guys. Altogether, 5 computers are required or not? Now tell me, in every computer I required Java software or not? In every computer I required Java software or not? For compilation, one Java software is required. Which Java software is required? Windows-based Java software is required. For one-time execution, first-time execution, Linux we have used there. There one Java software is required or not? There we have to install Linux-based Java software. Then only we can run our Java program on Linux operating system. In the second-time execution, Solaris operating system we have used. That another computer we have used. There again another Java software is required or not? Yes, another Java software is required in this machine also, in this Solaris operating system also. Now tell me, inside the MacBook, again another Java software must be installed or not? Definitely we have to install what is there? Another Java software. In the case of Windows also be another operating system here, we have another Java software we have to install it or not? So what is the meaning of it now? As Java is a platform dependent program, as a Java software is a platform dependent software, separately we have to install our Java software on each and every operating system. Separately we have to install our Java software on each and every operating system. Yes, sir. All of you get my point or not? Separately we have to install our Java software on each and every operating system. Now tell me, altogether, How many times I have to install my Java software here? How many times I have to install the Java software? 5 times here we have to install. For each and every operating system, we have to install separately the Java software. So it means that Java software is what? Platform dependent or platform independent? Java software is what? Platform dependent or platform independent? Platform dependent only. Java software is what there? Platform dependent only. But Java programming language, platform independent. See, understand this now. How many times I've written Java program? Only one time. But how many times we executed there? 4 times we executed. Means that independent of the operating system or not? Java program, Java programming language, independent of the operating system. Java software, Java compiler, JVM are what there? Dependent on the operating systems. So these are the direct questions from interviewer. Interviewer will ask this question to you. Tell me, Java is what? Platform dependent or platform independent? Everybody will say the answer is what there? Platform independent only. Immediately, interviewer will ask one more question. Tell me, what about JVM? JVM is platform dependent or Java platform independent? Then immediately people are thinking about it. Java is already platform independent. How JVM is different from it? No. Definitely JVM is also be what there? Platform independent. Directly they are saying answer is what there? Platform independent. That is wrong. So the final conclusion is what? Java programming language is what? Platform independent. JVM is what? Platform dependent. Not only JVM, the total Java software is what there? Platform dependent. That's it. These are the points here we have to understand clearly. Let me have some just 2 points, 2 to 3 points on our document here. Now let me have these points here. First of all, let me take this diagram. Right, sir. This diagram is okay, fine. Let me have some points here. Now, if we compile a Java program in a Windows operating system, then the compiler will generate dot class files. Compiler will generate dot class files, where dot class file contains bytecode. It is not directly executable code. It is not directly executable code, comma. It is an intermediate code. It is an intermediate code, and it does not follow any operating system representations, including Windows. Observe carefully. This is actual situation when we compile a Java program. Right. In the above context, if you want to execute dot class file, if you want to execute bytecode in any operating system, then the bytecode must have the local operating system representations. Then the bytecode must have local operating system representations. Answer my point clearly. In this case, to convert the program from neutral bytecode to the local operating system represented bytecode, that is called as what there? Native code. That is exactly called as like what there? Native code. Answer my point here. In this case, to convert the program from neutral bytecode to the local operating system represented bytecode, that is native code. Local operating system represent bytecode, native code. Java has provided a set of converters. Depending on the set of converters on the basis of the on the base of the operating systems. On the base of the operating systems. That's okay, fine. Now understand this clearly. Local operating system, local converters, instead of converters on the base of the operating system scale. Good. Observe carefully. Java has provided the above required. Java has provided the above required conversions or converters along with the execution, in the form of a single, component internally called, what is that one here? JVM. Called what there? JVM. You can understand it. Java Virtual Machine. It is called as what there? Java Virtual Machine. Java has provided the above required converters along with the execution in the form of a single component internally called JVM, Java Virtual Machine. Now here, I'm going to give conclusions, try to understand it clearly. Java is a platform independent programming language. Java is a platform independent programming language because of JVMs, only, but JVM is a platform, dependent tool. Not only JVM, the complete Java software is platform dependent. The complete Java software is what? They're platform dependent. That's it. Java is a platform independent programming language because of JVMs only. But JVM is platform dependent tool. Next one is what? There not only JVM, the complete Java software is what? There platform dependent. That's it. All the conclusions are given about this particular point here. Understand it now? Now this is clearly the diagram here what we provided clearly. Understand it now. After this, now here I have a question now, an important interview question now, on the basis of this total discussion. What is the question here? What are the differences between .exe file and .class file? What are the differences between .exe file and .class file? Now, okay, we have to understand what exactly the differences between these two things clearly. Okay, just 1 minute. I'll give some clarity. Understand it now. All right, sir. Now, the very first difference. Now, tell me, .exe files exist in C and C++, whereas .class files exist in Java. Yes, sir. Got it or not? .exe files exist in C and C++, whereas .class files exist in what there? Java. .exe file contains directly executable code. .exe file contains what there? Directly executable code. Observe carefully. Whereas .class file contains bytecode. It is not directly executable code. Okay. It is an intermediate code. That's okay, fine. That's the point number 2. .class file, .exe file contains directly executable code. .class file contains bytecode. It is not directly executable code. It is an intermediate code. Next one is .exe file is a platform dependent file. .exe file contains local operating system representations, platform dependent file, whereas .class file is a platform independent file. It's a platform independent file. Why? Because it doesn't have any local operating system representations. It contains only what there? Neutral bytecode. Later on, it will be converted to local operating system representations. All right, sir. Next one is after that. Point number 4. This is general knowledge point only. Fourth one, understand it clearly. .exe file is able to provide lesser security, as a C and C++ are lesser secured programming languages when compared with Java, as most of these virus related softwares are provided in the form of .exe files. Finally, we can conclude that .exe file is what there lesser security. It is able to provide lesser security, whereas .class file is able to provide more security. Why? Because Java is a more secure programming language when compared with the C and C++. As Java is a more secure programming language when compared with the C and C++. Are you getting my point or not? So because of that reason, we can conclude that .class file is what there is able to provide more security, but .exe file is able to provide what there lesser security. Is that all of you are getting clarity or not? That's okay, fine. These are the various points here we have to understand. Now tell me, what are the differences between .exe file and .class file? Now tell me. .exe file exists in C and C++, whereas .class files exist in what there Java. .exe file contains directly executable code. .class file contains bytecode. It is not directly executable code. It is an intermediate code. .exe file is a platform dependent file, whereas .class file is a platform independent file. .exe file is able to provide less security, whereas .class file is able to provide what there more security. These are totally the information here what we are understanding about like what there .exe file and what next one now .class file representations. Clear, sir? This difference here we understood there clearly. After completion of this particular point, that another difference here we are going to understand, like I think so fourth one, pointers are required or existed in the C and C++, but pointers are not existed in Java. Pointers are not existed in Java. Okay. So this topic I will discuss there on tomorrow. Tomorrow we are going to understand about like what there this content clearly. Right, sir. That's all for today. We are going to continue the remaining part in tomorrow. Okay. Right, sir. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Till meet on tomorrow.